Hello. I forgot my bloody mic again. How many times do I do that? Hello. No, I got all of a twisty thing going on. There we go. God, I am so professional. Probably more professional than the BBC. Hello and cheers. Now it's evening time just because of the day got away from me. I'm sat a bit close, am I? Hello. Yes, evening time. I will sit close because I'm going to roll a fag. The day just got away from me really. I got my dinner on. I got roast pork steaks, which are absolutely lovely. I got little miniature roast potatoes. My favourite veg, or one of my favourite veg for the time being, roast parsnips, they're in there. I've also got Brussels sprouts. People buy Brussels sprouts once a year and that's at Christmas, and I buy them all year long. I love them. And I got some, what's that green one I bought? Broccoli, got broccoli as well. Little tiny stuffing balls, a Yorkshire pud, that won't go in just yet. And then I'm going to have onion gravy with it all. As if that ain't enough, I'm going to have bloody bread sauce as well. I know. Bang goes my diet. I haven't eaten a single thing today and I'm absolutely starving. So you've got to treat yourself. Okay, we've got another My Thoughts to do. I better put my glasses on. If I'm rolling a fag, I've got to read this at the same time. So this is from Reese. And Reese says that he'd like my thoughts on stoicism and control. For example, your thoughts, my thoughts. For example, your thoughts on control over external and internal events. So my thoughts on, or over, my thoughts on control over external and internal events. Just let you know, the Stoics were a group of people in ancient Greek and Roman times. They were a group of philosophers. I've written this down. They were a group of philosophers who followed a realistic but morally idealistic way of living. So it's quite a simple way, really. In many respects, I think they're kind of on a par with the Amish or Amish, whatever you want to call them. Very simplistic, or at least the Quakers perhaps. Very sort of simplistic way of being. Well, Reese, one of the Stoic principles, obviously, that you would know is about the law of reason. The universe is governed by the law of reason, so I think that takes care of it, mate, really. There is a law of reason. There is, things will happen, good, bad or indifferent, things will happen. Some are in your control, some are beyond your control. Your question to me was, for example, your thoughts on control over external and internal events. We have very little control, if any, over external events, external happenings, external things. If you're driving down the road and your wheel falls off your bloody car, or your car don't start in the morning, so your car don't start in the morning, you have no control over that. That's an external event. That's something that's just happened. You didn't cause it. It's not something you could have controlled. It just has happened. Today the car won't start, or the car's broken, whatever. So that's an external thing. The only thing that you control about anything that's external is how you deal with it, how you manage it, how you process it, and what are your actions towards that and about that. And that is where I suppose the internal thing, we have a huge amount of control, massive amount of control about the external things. So if we're upset about something, or angry, or happy, or joyful, or blissful, or traumatized, you know, or whatever, we do have a massive amount of control over that. Of course we do. But they're on a par, really, how you deal with a particular situation. So you wake up in the morning, you're a bit late for work, go to start the car doesn't go. That's an external thing. That's a bit of a shame that that's happened, but it has happened. The world's an imperfect place and we live in it, you know, accept it. So, okay, the car won't go. So how do you deal with that? Kick the car, shelter the car. It won't change the fact that the car won't go, but it'll make you more upset, more angry, and then you start, a lot of us, we start the story in our head. Oh great, the car won't go, that means my boss is going to say this and I'm going to do that, and blah, and this is going to happen, and then that's going to happen, and you don't know any of that, you don't know any of it whatsoever, but we play that story and we make what the external event or happening, we make that into a much bigger thing. So we can control that. Although that's an external thing that's happened, it's still internal because everything is. So how do we deal with that? Okay, the car won't go. Well, I'll phone the boss and say I'm going to be late. That's the first thing. So you phone the boss, say, can't help it, you know, the car won't go, and not sure I'm getting in, so obviously I'm going to be late. All right, I'll see you later. Don't worry about it. Number one, it's a job, right? And if you've been on time several days in a row, so what? So how you deal with it? Okay, so you phoned your boss, can't get in, your car's a bit knackered. So you phone a mate, you phone the mechanic, you phone the garage. Or you pop the bonnet and you touch it, like I do. If I ever have a car that don't work, I'm not a mechanic, I just touch parts of the engine. I lay my hands on and say, come on. So you can fiddle around with the car and see if you can get it started yourself, or you can phone up a mechanic or whatever. Somebody comes out, they have a look, and it's an easy fix and it's done and you're on the way to work. Or somebody comes out, they can't get it going, it needs a part, they've got to order a part, get a bus or the taxi to work, or phone at work and say, can I work from home today, or just say I'm not coming in, whatever. But the way you respond and act to it and your emotions that you give it, that is your responsibility, and that is where the control comes in. It is your control. I know a lot of people that fly off the handle, and really it's about silly, pointless, meaningless things, you know. They can control that. We can all control how we respond, our emotions. You know, okay, the car won't go, big deal. It normally does. Be grateful. Be grateful that it normally goes. Be grateful that you normally get to work on time. Be grateful. Yeah, be grateful for the ability to be able to phone up a neighbour, a friend, a mechanic. Be grateful that there's a bus not too far away, or that there's a taxi firm that's got a free taxi. Be grateful for that. So I think we control not the event of the happening, but during the event of the happening, we can control how we are going to respond to it. So that's that part. But now the internal part, we do have a massive amount of control over. Something awful can happen in your life, you know, and it's up to you how you're going to deal with that, really. And the older you get, I think you get a little bit of wisdom, and you've seen a few things in life and you do know how to deal with them. Everything is different, But you deal with them. I just deal with them one at a time. Whatever comes my way, I just deal with it one at a time, and that's that. So I think we can definitely control to an extent. You know, there's always going to be the odd thing, isn't there, that's going to throw a curveball at us, and we're going to perhaps be devastated to have heard this news, whatever this news is. And you've never heard that news before, you've never been in that position, you've never dealt with it. You're going to be all over the place, full of mixed emotions in your mind and all the rest of it. But even then, there's a part of you that you are in control to a degree over that. So I think you control things massively, or in a situation like that, you can control it to quite a large extent, quite a large degree. And the external stuff, don't sweat it, don't worry about it, who cares, you know. I'm a human being, obviously, and as a human being I like people to like me. That's how we all are. However, I'm not too bothered, because if somebody doesn't like me, it's got nothing to do with me, nothing at all to do with me, and I manage that. That's an external thing that I can manage. Because if I hear, oh, so-and-so hates your guts, well, big deal. I just don't bother with them. They're not important in my life. I'm not interested, couldn't care less. I've been saying for years that other people's opinions of me is none of my business. And it really isn't. You know, yes, it's lovely to be liked, and I want to be liked, that's wonderful. But if somebody really takes a dislike to me, it doesn't matter. I won't fight for I won't fight to change their mind so that they like me. If that's how they feel, that's absolutely fine. But that's down to them to process that, not me. I just say, oh, fine, whatever. Now, that's an external one, as I say, that you can control. So you can control your feelings towards that. I don't get bitter, I don't get upset, I don't get angry. If I hear that somebody slagged me off, for instance, I think, oh, well, it doesn't matter. That's an external thing. How I respond to it is the important thing. I think I've answered everything, haven't I? I believe I have. Quite an interesting one, really, but I do think that we can control a lot in life. Sorry, I'm just reaching to get the ashtray. Yeah, I really do believe that we can control a hell of a lot in life. It's how we respond to things. And as I said earlier, we do have a habit of creating this story around ourselves and around things and happenings and events and things like that. We create a story. I try to stop myself from doing that, because even I do it, and I do it, and I'm aware, at least I'm aware that I am doing it. You know, if I don't know, if say I haven't heard from a particular friend in a while, and a number of weeks goes by and all the rest of it, and then I manage to contact that friend, and I get a very short phone call. I say, how are you? Fine. Oh, you busy? Yeah. Oh, see you then. And that's it. Obviously that's an external thing, because that person is being like that, but internally you're going to feel a bit hurt, a bit upset, whatever. But then you build a story around that, and you think, oh, I must have upset that person in some way. Maybe it was because I did this, or maybe that person's seen this on Facebook. I don't know, whatever. There could be a million things. You end up talking all this stuff, and oh, that person was really short with me on the phone after all these weeks of me trying, and all I got was, yeah, I'm busy. But we don't know any of that. It's just a story. We really don't know any of that. And that person, right when you phoned, could have been very, very busy, but still had the time to say to you, how are you? You all right? Sorry I ain't been about, I'm really busy. Yep, see you, mate. At least have those 2 seconds, 3 seconds with you. They may be going through untold stress. We don't know, but we make up a story. Oh, they don't like me, you know, or you wave at somebody in the street and they haven't waved back at you. Maybe they didn't see you. It could be anything. Maybe they was too busy. Maybe they got headphones in and you can't see their headphones, so they didn't hear you. It could be a million things, but we may make a big story and we say, oh, I saw my friend yesterday and I waved and he didn't wave back and he looked directly at me. Well, actually, when I'm in the street, I can look directly at somebody, but I'm not seeing that person at all. And I've walked past people and they say, oh, you're ignorant. And I tell them, oh, hello, sorry, I honestly didn't see you there. And I really didn't see that person there. My mind is full of stuff and I'm thinking, I'm walking and concentrating on doing whatever I'm doing. And people become a blur to me. They're a blob. And I really don't see the physical features of a person. So if I ever do that to anybody, I'm very sorry, but it's not that I've blanked the person or that I'm not friendly with the person or whatever. But we do make a story around things, and that's what we've got to try and stop, really. A couple of days ago, I was on Facebook, and actually, yeah, this is odd, because two things. I was on Facebook, and I thought, do you know what? I haven't heard from, and then a friend for a while. And I thought, how is she? You know, anyway, I went on there, and she's not there. I thought, that's strange. Anyway, she's in a couple of groups that I'm in. So I had a look, and sure enough, she's on Facebook, but she's unfriended me. And I thought, oh, I wonder why that was. Oh, well. Yeah, because it's not real life. It doesn't matter why she's unfriended me. That doesn't matter at all. And I've said this before in a video, that maybe when somebody unfriends you from Facebook, it's got nothing to do with you. They've just looked at it and thought, I've got 300 friends. I only want family. I want 12 people. That's absolutely fine, isn't it? It would be lovely if my friend would have explained that to me, if that is the case. Or maybe she hates my guts. Whatever. You know, she has unfriended me. Am I going to worry about it? No. I'll mention it now to you because we're just making a video and having a chat. But oddly, at the same time, a friend of mine that I've been friend with for a long, long time sent me a message on Facebook, and I read the message and I replied to the message, and I thought, I haven't seen him on Facebook much, and I clicked on his name and he's deleted me, unfriended me. I thought, oh, that's a bit odd that he's sending me a message but he's unfriended me. Can't work that one out. But whatever, you know, it is what it is. You know, I'm not too bothered. But oddly, he phoned the very next day in the evening, and we had a little chat. And towards the end of the conversation, he said, oh, I don't know if you've noticed, he said, I've unfriended everybody on Facebook. And I said, oh, have you? Why is that? And he said there's a particular group he was in, and anyway, that was his own story. He said, however, I can still message certain people, and obviously you're one of them. You know, I still want to be friends with you. So, and that's lovely, absolutely lovely. So I could have worried about that. I could have invented a story all the way around it and all the rest of it. I didn't do, and I do try not to do that. But I am guilty of doing it, but I do try not to do that. So again, that's control, isn't it? It is your control. And your control is not to invent a silly story around a particular thing that's happened. You know, things happen in life. I mean, going back to that Facebook, the first one, the friend of mine, the female friend of mine, we've been friends for a few years, you know, phoning each other and stuff like that. And I admit I haven't phoned her, she hasn't phoned me for a while, and we haven't even seen each other. So quite why that is, I've no idea, but I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to worry about it at all, because that's her choice, her decision, isn't it? And either she's unfriended everybody, or she's just unfriended me. And actually, both of them I'm fine with. Absolutely fine. I've got no problem with that. I'm currently not phoning her, I'm currently not seeing her or anything like that. So we're not friends, I wouldn't say we're close friends at all. I think we have been maybe in the past, but we're not close friends now. But I'm not going to invent a story around that. Oh, she's done this because of blah, blah, blah. How would I know? How would I know why she's done it? You know, that's totally her decision, and I'm absolutely fine with it as well. So I don't need to, like I say, I don't need to invent that story. So again, it's all about control. It's your control is your mind and your emotions. It's as simple as that, really. How do you respond to any given thing that comes your way? And that's external things as well, because external things upset you on the inside or excite you on the inside. The good news, bad news, whatever. Cheers, Reese. And thank you, everybody, if you listened this long. It was a much longer video than I intended to make, really. Thought it was going to be a nice and simple answer. When I do these, I don't have any notes on it. These are my thoughts, just me thinking out aloud. So yeah, I can think of an answer that's a 1 minute answer, but then you need to elaborate on that answer, perhaps, as I have done in this video, and it's a much longer response, really. But I think, you know, when you're thinking, that is the nature of the beast, isn't it? You don't think 100 miles an hour and say, here's the answer, bang, that's fact. Well, it's not fact, because it's just me thinking, it's just my thoughts. And obviously thoughts are slow, and they come in when they come in, and all the rest of it. Anyway, stay warm, everybody. It was, for a fortnight, it was wet, and actually it was wet and warm, and now it's dry and bloody cold. I'll be back soon. Take care and be well. Ta-ra. Cheers.